Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the W. Mason Coach Report with head men's basketball coach Joe Mihalich. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me, Steve, and it's another exciting week coming up here, and we're anxious to get going.
Coach, you come off a stretch where you went down south, played at UNC Wilmington and Charleston over the weekend. 1-1 weekend, a narrow 2-point win at Wilmington and a narrow 2-point loss at Charleston. Just recap the week that was for Hofstra.
Yeah, it's funny. Every time we go to Wilmington, there's a little added drama for whatever reason. 3 years ago, they were not a good team, and there was alumni weekend or something, right? I remember they had a losing record. It was sold out. And then last year it was senior night. It was sold out. And this year they had fired their coach and have a new coach. So wasn't quite sold out, but they had a great crowd and it was all rejuvenated. And we answered the bell this year and dealt with that extra enthusiasm and emotion that they had. And our kids toughed it out. We didn't play well. And you got to give Wilmington some credit for that. But at the end when we had to make plays, we made plays and we were able to get away with the win. And
then the Charleston game, really just an excellent college basketball game on two great teams going back and forth. Obviously, Hofstra came off on the short end of the stick there. What did you see from that game?
Yeah, you just said it. Two great teams. Not great teams, but two really good teams, getting after each other. It was a heck of a game. Great atmosphere. Both those places. Great atmosphere. Fans there cheering up. Charleston's fans stood most of the game. It was just – it's fun. It's fun when the games are like that. So our guys were good in that setting. Had our chances to win. Shame on us for not getting it done, but at the same time, really proud of our guys for battling, for dealing with all the odds, and leaving again with a loss, but knowing that if we do a few more things better, that we can still be one of the teams at the end of the year, which is the goal. At the end of the year, that can have a chance to win the league.
Yeah, let's talk about the Wilmington game here. You obviously knew going in. You talked about it after the coaching change down there. You were going to see a different Wilmington team, and you did see a different Wilmington team, as did Northeastern, who got beat by them. Right. Did you expect that kind of energy from that team that game, or did you expect different play on the court?
Yeah, a little bit of both. And when you have better energy, you're going to have better play. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to this: somebody walked into that Wilmington locker room and took all the blame off of those players. So they were relieved. They blamed the coach. They said, well, it wasn't the players. It was you guys, it wasn't all the shots you missed. It wasn't all the poor defense you played. It was your coach's fault. So they're relieved. The kids are relieved. Hey, this wasn't us. We got new life. We got some other guy coming in now. He's going to coach us. And so they played with some more enthusiasm.
And then late in that game, he's been the story all year for you guys. DeJour Bowie finds Isaac Conte late. What was that kind of how you drew it up, or did DeJour just kind of make a play as he has all year?
Well, I think our job as coaches is to put our players in a position to make a play and put the right players in positions to make plays. And DeJour, Elijah made the play against Northeastern. DeJour made it against Wilmington. We thought that against Charleston, that Jalen Ray made it when he made that shot off that side out of bounds play. So, but great players make great plays. That's why they're called great players. And DeJour, read the defense well. Isaac executed with a good screen and roll, and we were able to make the plays.
You just touched on Jalen's shot against Northeastern, and over the weekend, it seemed your team had an unusual amount of success out of baseline out of bounds and sideline out of bounds. It's really making big shots, whether it was Jalen or other players on the team. Obviously, something you guys work on, but did you kind of feel that your team was really being successful at those sets?
Yeah, we just try to give some different looks and some different actions within those different looks, and we were fortunate. The execution was good, and that's what at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to: the guys executing.
And it'll take the Charleston game. We just mentioned him before for the game-winning basket against Wilmington, but Isaac is really coming on strong, and you've talked about it, how it's a similar to what Jaquil did last year, and we're obviously seeing it, another fourth double-double of the year. What have you seen in him that has changed since November?
Well, he's just becoming more confident, more comfortable, more sure of himself. I mean, he had to learn on the job. I mean, he had to learn on the job. We just threw him in there and said, hey, listen, we know you haven't played a basketball game in 2 years. Go out there and play great. And it just takes time. I mean, we're not machines. and it just took him some time. And it's fun to watch him. And it's fun to be with him every day. He's as good as he is on the floor. He's even better off the floor, and I'm just happy for his success and hope that he can continue to grow it.
And the other part of the duo in the Charleston game, DeJour Bowie was really strong, 19 points, 9 assists, another one of his stellar games. He hasn't had a 9-assist game in a while because he's been scoring so much, but he really was finding the open player, wasn't he?
And probably shouldn't have played. I mean, he took a fall in that Wilmington game, and his tailbone and his wrist. You're not supposed to mention what's really hurt. You're supposed to say lower body and upper body, right?
It was his upper body.
His upper body and lower body got hurt. And really, right till tip-off, we weren't sure how he could go. And I think he's still hurting, but he was sensational.
And now your team returns home. You're 5-2 in the league. After playing 5 of your first 7 on the road, you have to be.
We played 5 out of 7 in the road.
Yes, we did, Coach. You have to really feel positive about your teams where they are right now, heading into a big week. You got Delaware and Drexel. Drexel probably the surprise of the league right now at 5-2 as well. What are your thoughts going into this home week with two longtime rivals and 2 teams that are up in the upper echelon?
It's a broken record, but this is the best league in the country that nobody knows about. Drexel beats William & Mary. They didn't just beat them. It wasn't a surprise that they beat them. They beat them by 27. So that, and we're going backwards here. And we got Delaware coming, who started out the season 10-2. Only lost by like 8 or 10 to Villanova. So, 2 really good teams. But every night you have a good team. Every night. I mean, we just played Wilmington, and we're lucky to get away with the win. So, and they were 0-7 or whatever they were. So every night's a battle. You got to be ready. And if you're not ready, you won't win.
And what's the keys to victory against Delaware on Thursday since the next game up?
Well, watch some tape, not as much as Mike Farrelly, but I watch a lot of tape on Delaware, and it's a really balanced team. They're really good. The transfer from Villanova is a good player. The transfer from Alabama Birmingham's a good player. They're good. The good balance. They're solid at every position. They shoot it. They score it. It's going to be. I don't know yet what we got to do. I mean, we're still working. It's Tuesday morning. We're still working on that, but I know we have to play well.
And 2 big home games at the Mac Sports Complex this week. Thursday's on national TV. Special 6:30 tip time. Come to the Mac Sports Complex. Get your tickets at HofstraTickets.com. Your second of 3 national TV games. The first one was successful. Thank you, Elijah. Yeah. These are big for your program. We talked about it before, but heading into that kind of atmosphere and hopeful for a big crowd.
Yeah, it'd be great to see some people here. Just coming off those Charleston and Wilmington trip, it's fun when there's a lot of people there and people that are cheering and rooting their team on. And it's, as we say all the time, there's no better venue around. It's a cheap ticket, and come right after work, grab a hot dog, and sit down and watch a 6:30 game. You'll be home in time to enjoy the rest of the evening.
Well, we'll see you on Thursday at the Mac Sports Complex, and thank you for joining us today on the W. Mason Coach Report with head men's basketball coach Joe Mihalich.